Huh, don't you dare get close to her. You, from some piddly little company? We're the elite from the top company. Know your place.
I'm Konomi Jimbo from Erito Publishing. It's a pleasure to work with you all.
Konomi? What are you doing at our company? If you turn your favorite hobby into a job, you'll end up hating what you used to love. That's why you should purposefully choose a job you dislike and just endure it for 8 hours. You'll be happier if you spend plenty of time on your favorite hobby after that. Some streamer who's good at winning arguments was passionately saying that. But I couldn't help but think he was wrong.
Hey, Tatsuru, working overtime this late again?
Huh? President Ogawa? Whoa, I didn't realize it was so late.
I appreciate your dedication, but your health comes first. Go home now.
I'm Tatsuru Kanda. I'm 28 and work at Love Koi Publishing, a small company with less than 10 employees, including the president. You're one to talk, President Ogawa. You're working late too.
It's fine for me. I started this company to do what I love.
I love this job too. It was my dream to be involved with books, so I don't mind the overtime at all.
Thank you. I'm counting on you. But even if you don't mind, as your employer, I have a responsibility.
Right, I understand. Well, I'll be heading home for today. See you tomorrow. I've loved books since I was a kid and always wanted to work for a publisher, but the publishing world is a tough one to get into. Even the major companies only hire about 20 new graduates, and they're still all about prestigious universities, filled with grads from T University and K University. With my university degree, getting into a major publisher was completely out of the question, Master.
That was common in my day, but it's surprising some companies are still so focused on university prestige. But because of that, you're fulfilled now, right?
Exactly. We don't have enough people to divide the labor, so I get to do everything from start to finish. It's the best. I have a bar I often stop by after work, and on this day, I was making small talk with the master as usual.
Welcome.
Good evening. Oh, Tatsuru, you're here too?
The person who walked in was Konomi Jinbo. I don't know where she works or much about her personal life, but she's a regular I talk to whenever we meet at the bar. Good evening, Konomi. You're quite late today.
I know. You won't believe it. Oh, but first, Master, I'll have my usual dry gin.
From what I heard, Konomi's company seems to be very old-fashioned, with outdated customs still rampant. That sounds tough. So, what about overtime?
Everyone clocks out and then keeps working. It's become an unspoken rule, which is kind of scary. Oh, I'm so jealous of you, Tatsuru. You always look so happy when you talk about your work.
Sometime after that, one night, while I was drinking at the usual bar, a new customer came in.
Welcome.
Just one, is that okay? Konomi Jinbo recommended this place to me.
I see. Thank you for coming. Please, have a seat right here.
A friend of Konomi's? The master showed him to his seat, took his order, and served the man a highball. But maybe it was just my imagination. The master seemed a bit sluggish. He also looked like he was struggling to make conversation. Maybe it's because it's usually just regulars and new customers are rare. Thinking I'd help out, I decided to wait for the right moment and strike up a conversation with him. Nice to meet you. You know Konomi, right? I'm a friend of hers from this bar. Huh, Konomi is my junior at work. You've heard of Erito Publishing, of course. He quickly handed me his business card. Erito Publishing is the biggest in the industry. His name, full of confidence, was Kojo Shoshi. Konomi works for a major publisher? I know it well. It was my first choice when I was job hunting as a student, but I was rejected right after the first round of interviews. I see you have quite a past. Are you in the same industry by chance, Tatsuru? Yes, I work at Lovekoi Publishing. Huh? Never heard of a publisher like that. I guess not. We only have 10 employees and haven't published any famous books yet. When I said that, Kojo Shoshi scoffed at me as if to mock me. Huh, don't you dare get close to her. You, from some piddly little company? We're the elite from the top company. Know your place. We only talk when we happen to meet at this bar. After that, Kojo Shoshi's bragging about his top-tier company went on and on. If he were drunk, it would be one thing, but if he's always like this, he must have problems with people. I hate to say it, but his behavior gave me a glimpse of the old-fashioned corporate culture and customs that Konomi was worried about. The master had a skeptical look on his face the whole time and didn't join the conversation much. Master, do you think Konomi hates me now? That day, I found myself whining to the master. It had been over 2 months since I last saw Konomi.
Could you not sigh so heavily? You're bringing my mood down too.
But I haven't seen her at all since the day she told me about her problems at work. Even though we're just regulars who know each other from the bar, I can't help but worry when I don't see her for this long. Maybe, did Kojo Shoshi tell Konomi about me at work? Why didn't I get her contact information beforehand? I never expected this to happen.
Gah! A man who can't think ahead will never be popular with the ladies, no matter the era.
Ugh. By the way, has that obnoxious guy, Konomi Sr., been here since?
That was the last I saw of him. I doubt he'll come back, but even if you run into him, you'd better not count on him for anything.
Of course not. It would just add fuel to the fire, and as a man, I don't want to do that. The next time I see her, I'll talk more in depth about work. Just as I was thinking that, the unbelievable happened.
Everyone, there's someone I'd like you to meet. She's our new colleague, a newcomer from a major competitor.
A few days later, seeing the woman who had just changed jobs, my eyes went wide.
I'm Konomi Jimbo from Erito Publishing. It's a pleasure to work with you all.
Konomi? What are you doing at our company?
It's been a while. You always looked so happy when you talked about your job, Tatsuru, so I've been interested for a long time.
Well, even so, coming from Erito Publishing to our company is... I mean, no offense to you, President Ogawa.
I know. I was surprised at first too, but when I heard during the interview that you knew Tatsuru, I was immediately relieved. The name recognition and stability of a major company must be hard to give up, but it showed me you're someone who values fulfillment more. You basically recruited her to her company without even realizing it, Tatsuru. So now you have a big responsibility. Naturally, I'll need you to be her mentor.
Of course. Thank you, President Ogawa. Let's do our best, Konomi.
Yes, let's. I'm looking forward to it.
And just like that, a miracle occurred. The relationship that was just 2 regulars at a bar a few months ago turned into us being colleagues. In any case, I was relieved to see that Konomi was as cheerful and energetic as ever. Seeing her like this, I guess she didn't hate me after all. Thank goodness. Ironically, during the 2 months I couldn't see her at the bar, I realized keenly that I had special feelings for Konomi. I don't remember telling Konomi where I worked, so she must have heard it from Kojo Shoshi. That said, Konomi wasn't the type of person to look down on me like Kojo Shoshi did.
Tatsuru, I've come up with a few book proposals. Could you take a look?
On her very first day, Konomi brought in already well-developed proposals. Wow, These are all likely to be big hits. Do you have any authors in mind?
Yes. Using my connections from college and my time at Erito Publishing, I can select the perfect author for each proposal from a wide range of candidates.
This proposal skill and your extensive network? You're amazing, Konomi. What about the format?
The format? What's a format?
Her question made my jaw drop, but I quickly added an explanation. The book format, like A5, Shinsho, Bunko, it means the size of the book.
Oh, a different department always figured out the best solution for that, so I don't really know much about it.
Huh? Oh, right. Major companies have a clear division of labor, so what about selecting the paper for the book?
Sorry, I've never done that. Everything related to cost calculation was handled by another department.
What about page design or proofreading? Or maybe visiting bookstores and holding publication events?
Yes, of course. That was a different department or outsourced.
So what exactly can you do besides planning, Konomi?
Checking! I can perfectly check everything that comes in from other departments or contractors. I've also already created a checklist to assess your suitability as my mentor, which I'll be submitting to the president later.
Ugh, please, go easy on me. So, Konomi was a specialist as an editor, and her proposals kept getting approved one after another. This brings our concurrent projects this month to 5. Are you okay with that?
This is nothing. In fact, I'm enjoying the challenge.
Because she came from a major company with a division of labor, there were many things she couldn't do, but it didn't take her long to learn the ropes. And so, Konomi quickly became a key employee at Lovekoi Publishing.
Welcome.
Master, it's been a while. I brought a special guest today. The night Konomi's first book was published, I invited her to our usual bar.
Long time no see.
She'd only been away for a little while, but for some reason, Konomi seemed unusually awkward.
It's been a while. Glad to see you're doing well.
Actually, Konomi transferred to my company. Today, we're celebrating the release of our first book, so I suggested we come to the bar where we first met. We all toasted with Konomi's favorite gin, including the master. As we drank, Konomi seemed to relax and started talking about the differences between her old job and her new one.
Erito Publishing has a long history, so everyone's very rigid. They never approve any new proposals. They'd get angry and tell me that all I needed to do was follow the successful publications of the past, and that a rookie shouldn't do anything unnecessary.
I had a feeling, but it really is that kind of corporate culture, isn't it?
I mentioned before how we'd clocked out during overtime, but compliance is just for show. There's a harassment counseling office, but no one uses it because of a rumor that going there will affect your performance review. It was during that time that I kept seeing you, Tatsuru, looking so happy, and it made me want to change jobs.
So she had decided to change jobs and was too busy with the handover process to come to the bar. Didn't you have anyone at the company you could talk to, like Kojo Shoshi, the one who supposedly recommended this place? I just happened to run into him here, but you must have been on good enough terms for him to recommend his favorite bar, right?
Huh? How do you know about him?
What? I met him here the other day. Did he not tell you about me at work? For just a moment, I thought I saw a shadow pass over Konomi's cheerful face. I got off work on time. Maybe I'll grab a bite to eat somewhere before heading home. As I was thinking that and leaving the building, a man who seemed to be waiting for me suddenly spoke. Yo, remember me? The one picking a fight was Kojo Shoshi from Erito Publishing. I hadn't seen him since that day at the bar, but after being ridiculed so much on our first meeting, there's no way I could forget him. You're Kojo Shoshi, the guy I met at the bar a few months ago, right? What's up? So even someone from a third-rate publisher can remember a face, but it's no use if you've forgotten the most important thing. The most important thing? What's that? I told you back then not to make a move on Konomi, didn't I? And yet, she ended up transferring to a piddly little publisher like this. You must have tricked her and pulled some strings behind the scenes, didn't you? Of course I didn't do that. I didn't even know her contact information until she transferred. What? If you didn't trick her, there's no way someone would move from the biggest company to a place like this. Konomi's words, seeing how happy Tatsuro always was, made me want to change jobs. That feeling, that reason for changing jobs, I'm sure it wasn't a lie. It might be third-rate in terms of size, but there are a lot of things you can only experience at a small company. What's wrong with someone wanting to find fulfillment and transferring to a company like that? Someone who failed our company's entrance exam has no right to talk so big. Say what you want about me, but our company is definitely going to grow from here on out. And I won't let you insult her for taking action with such great determination and courage. I retorted strongly, thinking I might have dampened Kojo Shoshi's spirit, but he quickly recovered. Konomi! In the direction he was looking was Konomi, who had just left work. Noticing us, she came over.
Why are you here, Ko?
You came at the right time. This guy is full of lies. I can't even talk to him. Konomi, you're being deceived. Anyone can see a transfer like this is crazy. Snap out of it. Konomi let out a small sigh and glared at him sharply.
Give me a break. You're the last person I want to hear anything from about my job change.
Huh.
Part of the reason I left Erito Publishing was to get away from the restrictive environment bound by old customs, but a major reason was also the stress and annoyance of you constantly hitting on me, Ko.
Huh?
You went to the bar that Tatsuru and I go to, lying that I recommended it, didn't you? I never told you about that place. What's going on?
Well, that's,
Weren't you secretly stalking me and looking into what I was doing after I left the company?
No way. I wouldn't. Kojo Shoshi became flustered. Seeing his obvious reaction, probably hit the mark.
You peeked into the bar and saw me talking happily with Tatsuru, and you flew into a jealous rage. You were so desperate to feel superior to Tatsuru that you pretended I had recommended the place and went in another day. Am I wrong?
Kojo Shoshi stayed silent, frantically shaking his head, but neither Konomi nor I were convinced by that.
I'm now working happily in the best possible environment at Love Koi Publishing. Not everyone in the world chooses a job based solely on public recognition or good benefits. Someone as vain as you, Ko, you'll probably never understand. That company harassment counseling office doesn't even work properly, and I knew that no matter who I complained to, I'd just be ignored. That's why I didn't report it to the company. But if you're going to show up here too, I'll have to consider going to the police.
Breaking out in a cold sweat and turning pale, Kojo Shoshi seemed to have lost all will to argue back.
My, what's all this commotion?
Just then, President Ogawa came out of the office. In front of the company, Konomi was tearfully pleading with a strange man. It was only natural for her to be suspicious.
President Ogawa, good evening. I'm sorry for causing a scene.
Konomi, could this man be the one?
Yes, he is.
You knew about this, President Ogawa?
When she was hired, Konomi told me just in case something like this happened. She said there was a senior colleague who was stalking her and might show up here out of spite. I never thought he'd actually come.
I see. Perhaps he didn't like the contemptuous look I gave him, as he once again spat out aggressive words. Damn it, a bunch of nobodies from a piddly publisher. ganging up on me from Erito Publishing? Hearing Kojo Shoshi's outburst, President Ogawa's expression turned cold as she calmly retorted,
You really have a foul mouth. I'll have to lodge a formal complaint with the upper management at Erito Publishing.
Huh? A complaint from a nobody like Lovekoi Publishing will never reach our top brass. This is why people who don't know their place are such a pain. At this comment from Kojo Shoshi, both Konomi and I could only hang our heads in disbelief, because...
I see. Well, the president of your company is my younger brother, but you're saying it still won't reach his ears? If you want, I can call my brother right now and have him come over.
Gah! I hear that her brother has always been afraid of his older sister and can't stand up to her, so you'd better be prepared. No way! Is that even possible? Kojo Shoshi hurriedly bowed his head, but President Ogawa ignored him and reported everything over the phone. Shortly after, Kojo Shoshi was summoned by the company's upper management. As for your power harassment incidents within the company, we could overlook them as an internal matter. However, stalking a former female employee is unacceptable. Do you understand? What? So the treatment changes depending on whether the person is an insider or an outsider? Trying to save face on only the outside is a sloppy response typical of old companies. In the end, Kojo Shoshi was ordered to be transferred to the book storage in the basement, commonly known as the ouster room. Konomi's long-standing problem was finally resolved, but there was one thing that still bothered me. How did Konomi find out where I worked? I never once told Konomi my place of employment. I thought maybe Kojo Shoshi had told her, but Konomi didn't even know that he and I had met. And yet, Konomi had transferred to my company. If my hypothesis was correct, then that person must be... Welcome! Master, you really had me fooled, but I figured out your true identity. Now, what are you talking about? The fact that Konomi knew where I worked, and the fact that you stopped coming here completely after Kojo Shoshi showed up. The way you acted strangely when Kojo Shoshi was here. From all that, you are... Konomi's father, aren't you? Gah! Ha ha! So you figured it out. Hey, Konomi, it's no use hiding. Konomi came out from behind the counter.
See? I told you he'd figure it out because you're so sharp, Tatsuru. I'm sorry for not telling you until now. I figured if I was going to drink anyway, I might as well support my dad's bar, and then I just lost the timing to tell you.
Thank goodness. Even the master told me that a man who can't think ahead isn't attractive. But you must have been surprised when Kojo Shoshi suddenly showed up here, right? Konomi had told me about her senior colleague stalking her, but I never imagined he'd show up himself, lying about being recommended. Back then, they were still at the same company, so I couldn't do anything too drastic. You joining the conversation really helped. I knew it. You were acting a little strange, Master. The other day, he staggered in here with a vacant look in his eyes, so this time I yelled, "Don't you ever come near my daughter again," and kicked him out. Konomi gets angry at her boisterously laughing father, telling him not to be so reckless. Seeing the two of them like this, I knew I wouldn't get another chance. Master, may I have your permission to date... No, to date Konomi?
What? Tatsuru, you're getting ahead of yourself.
Gah! Ha ha! So, a man who can think ahead tries to win me over first, eh? I like your style. You have my approval. Besides, if I didn't like you, I wouldn't have recommended you transfer to his company in the first place.
Hey, don't leave me out of this.
In every industry, there are big corporations, small and medium-sized businesses, and tiny companies, and all of them are respectable jobs. There's no such thing as a superior or inferior job. Everyone has different values they look for in their work, and it's perfectly fine to turn what you love into a job. Konomi, I look forward to our future together.
Yes, me too.
What's wrong with making a living out of what you love? Thanks to that, I was able to meet my irreplaceable partner. I want to prove it with my own life, so that one day I can even challenge that famous debate king.
Don't be shy. This is a rare chance, you know? Excuse me. Don't you think you should stop? She's clearly uncomfortable.
You photograph every dish?
Yes, so I can recreate dishes at home. Taking photos helps me remember. I wonder if I can recreate that amazing taste from last night. Every morning, I wake up early and challenge myself to recreate the flavors of the restaurant meals I ate the night before. And then, I turn them into a bento and bring it to work every day. That's my routine. Alright, nailed it! Reproduction rate, 95% I would say. People might think it's pretty eccentric to be doing this on a weekday morning. I'm Masaki Ise, 28. I work in product development at a food manufacturer, and eating out and making bentos is both my hobby and part of my job.
So, which restaurant's reproduction bento is it today?
Whenever I open my bento in the company break room, my senior coworkers always ask, "You know that famous udon place near the aquarium? Today, it's their specialty, takone sushi, packed with shiso, bonito, and tuna. Perfect for chilled bento box." My coworkers' eyes widened. I guess it's only natural to be surprised seeing raw fish in a lunchbox. A few years ago, the company cafeteria opened, but I've never used it. I always bring my own bento.
Issei, you're as dedicated as ever. I mean, all the other guys are thrilled to eat at the cafeteria these days.
Thrilled? Is there some sort of special collab menu or something?
I heard there's a really pretty new staff member. Seriously, men are so simple.
Hey now, not all guys are like that. Guys like me and Issa exist too, you know? Don't generalize. These two are always fascinated by my bento. They're my seniors, but they joined the company together and ended up marrying. They're always so kind to me, bringing me regional sweets from their trips. Yeah, that reason doesn't make sense to me. If there was an incredibly delicious new dish, sure, I would go without hesitation.
Well, Issei, you only care about food after all.
It's true, my passion for food is so strong. I haven't really been interested in romance. Then one day, I went to work without making a bento for the first time in a while. A lunch meeting about the new product. Well, the cafeteria sounds good for once. I hadn't been there in ages. Maybe there would be a new menu. I felt a little excited, and then... Huh? Something's going on? Near the cafeteria entrance, a man in a suit I didn't recognize was persistently hitting on a woman, smirking. Come on, just one meal. I won't do anything bad, okay?
No, that's really not...
You're really shy, huh? Just leave it to me. You'll be fine. Any restaurant will treat us like VIPs.
I'm working, so please stop.
Such an arrogant guy. Doesn't he see she's uncomfortable? It was obvious she hated it, but for some reason, everyone pretended not to notice. Don't be shy. This is a rare chance, you know? Seeing her trembling hand as she lowered her gaze, I stepped between them. Excuse me, don't you think you should stop? She's clearly uncomfortable. Surprised by my sudden words, the man widened his eyes at me. Who the hell are you? What's your relationship with her? I work in this company's product development department. I don't usually eat at the cafeteria, so this is my first time meeting her. Heh, just some random guy. Heh, what a buzzkill. Whatever, I'll be back. See ya. With that, he waved his hand and walked off. He didn't seem like a company employee. I was concerned about the woman, but since the meeting was about to start, I just gave a slight bow and left too. I felt like everyone was talking about me. Am I imagining things? After the meeting, heading back to my department, I noticed a lot of stares from passing employees. The inexplicable discomfort made me tilt my head when... Ise, hey! Come here for a sec! I heard. Ise, you embarrassed the heir of one of our major clients in the cafeteria? Heir? I just told off a guy harassing the cafeteria staff.
I knew it.
The seniors exchanged glances, part exasperated, part amused, hard to describe.
The guy you drove off was Takashi Yayoi. He's the son of the CEO and an executive of that nationwide chain with nearly 300 restaurants.
Huh? He didn't look it at all.
Huh?
Well, he did act overly self-important, like he thought the world revolved around him. But what kind of heir can't even tell when someone's uncomfortable, thinking you can lead people without empathy? Man, you're great. I like you even more now.
Hey, this isn't funny. Oh no, I'm laughing anyway. Oh man. Well, basically, he's a big shot client. In short, someone we really shouldn't mess with.
Ah, that explains why everyone was pretending not to notice. It all made sense now. But the woman was clearly in trouble. Isn't it natural to stop someone from doing something awful?
You're right, but we just worried because the guy's powerful. But personally, I'm grateful you stood up to him.
She told me she had been approached by that guy before too. A womanizing heir. What a pain. Well, don't worry, Ise. I agree with you. Even if he's an heir, if he causes chaos here, we can't tolerate it. If anyone tries to blame you, I'll protect... Shouldn't you focus on protecting your wife instead? But thank you. Gah, can't argue with that. Seeing him dramatically clutch his chest, his wife giggling. Yeah, I'm glad they're close. That whole day, I stayed the center of rumors. Just how powerful is Takashi Yayoi? Still, I didn't even know who he was. Can't blame me for that, right? With those thoughts swirling, I left at the end of the day, thinking a food tour would help. And then...
Excuse me?
You're from earlier.
Yes, I wanted to thank you. You really saved me.
Even though her shift ended at 4 p.m., it seems she waited all this time just to see me.
Afterward, I heard from the other employees. That man's some bigwig, right? But you were the only one who helped me. So please let me thank you.
With that look, I really can't just say I didn't know. No, you don't need to thank me or anything.
Please? Do you have plans after this?
As part of product development, I was planning to grab dinner somewhere to study food anyway.
I also visit lots of restaurants to learn about cooking, so I know a fair bit. If you'd like, let me introduce a new restaurant and treat you there as thanks for today.
A new restaurant? By the way, which place?
Here! It just opened 6 months ago. But if you've already been, I can suggest another.
I'll go.
Really? I'm so glad. Then let's go.
The woman, who introduced herself as Miri Nishima, presented many recommended places in great detail. Among them were a few I had been curious about, but hadn't tried yet. This woman's passion for food is real. Just as she had said, she seemed well versed in a wide range of cuisines. Cheers! From her list, I picked a place, and we went to one of Mirina's favorite Japanese restaurants. Thanks to our shared love of food, I was able to bond with her quickly.
You photograph every dish?
Yes, so I can recreate dishes at home. Taking photos helps me remember.
That's a wonderful hobby that ties into your work. Could you share any tips for recreating flavors?
Well, taste perception changes greatly depending on temperature. So first, it's crucial to eat food at the right temperature.
I've never thought that deeply about it. Why does temperature matter?
When the temperature difference from your body's 36 degrees Celsius is about 25, that's when people perceive food as delicious. It's said that's when our taste sensitivity peaks, so it's important to eat food while it's still at the ideal temperature.
Amazing! From now on, please let me call you Sensei.
No, not at all.
You could totally recreate Ghibli food and anime dishes too, right, Sensei?
No way. That's like a dream. I've never actually tasted those dishes.
It's a dream, but it wasn't a dream.
No, it is a dream. And so, as we grew closer through our food outings, I learned that Mirine's father runs a diner.
I want to inherit the diner someday, so my dad suggested working in the company cafeteria to learn.
Huh? The cafeteria is good for learning? Honestly, that's a bit surprising.
Well, actually,
As she told me more about her father, I was so shocked I couldn't even close my mouth. After that, I started skipping making bentos on days I wanted to see Mirine and went to the cafeteria instead. Naturally, whenever we met, we would get excited talking about recreating dishes again. Hey, you've been real chummy with her lately. Didn't you say you had just met her that day? That was a lie, right? Takashi glared at us, frowning as he watched. He's a client heir, right? Why is he hanging around our cafeteria so much? Does he have nothing better to do? It wasn't a lie. The day I met you was when I first learned about her. After that, she thanked me for helping her, and we started talking. Tch, so I'm the reason you two got closer? Damn it! Takashi audibly grinded his teeth. I was gonna overlook you standing up to me last time, but nah, I just can't let it slide. You've got some nerve. That's it. I'm terminating every contract for the seasonings this company supplies to our chain. You're gonna regret messing with me. What a disgrace to the heir title. While I sighed in disbelief, the cafeteria fell silent at Takashi's loud outburst.
excuse me. I've told you before. We can't have you causing a scene here.
The rest of these employees seem smart enough. No matter how loud I get, nobody here is gonna risk speaking up against me. Just as the deluded heir said that, someone besides us finally raised their voice in the cafeteria. Hey, thank you for everything, sir. Huh? Who are you? Senior. He's conflicted, wanting to defend me but scared of angering the heir. His behavior's off.
Hey, don't make this messier. We're going to report this. Come on, let's go.
A kind but slightly unreliable senior. But somehow, I still admire him. More importantly, you. Why would you refuse a date with me but get all buddy-buddy with this guy? Damn, he circled back to that. Someone like you wouldn't last a second if I went all out. I'm an executive of a nationwide chain. Mirine trembling, looking like she's holding back angry tears. I knew I had to protect her. Wouldn't last a second, huh? A man in a kimono entered the cafeteria and addressed Takashi. Master! Thank you for always taking care of my father and me! I'm Yayoi Takashi! Takashi, the son of Yayoi. It's been a while. I hear you're still expanding your chain. Are you managing it properly? Of course! My father faithfully preserves the flavor you taught him. Rest assured. I'm content as long as I pursue my own flavors. I don't care about money, fame, or business. If your father wants to expand the chain, he can do whatever he wants, as long as he can manage it. Takashi bowing exaggeratedly, rubbing hands, clearly unable to defy him. So tell me, why would he not last a second? Oh, well, actually... Takashi glanced toward me and Mirine, then confessed to threatening contract termination. I see. And you think you can pull that off? Of course! With my father's help, we don't need these rude suppliers. We are a 300-store national chain. Don't underestimate us. Mirine's father let out a deep sigh. So, even knowing I oversee this company's seasonings, you're going to do that? Huh? There was no announcement or anything. How could I have known? You're joking, right? Didn't I tell you earlier? I don't care about recognition. I'll never put my name on something even if I supervised it. No way! Takashi Yayoi visibly turned pale. Actually, the president of this company is a regular at my diner, and when they built the cafeteria, they asked me to run it. But I have no intention of managing anything beyond my own place. When I declined, they asked me at least to supervise the seasonings. That's how it happened. By the way, which seasonings did you supervise? Almost everything related to dashi. Since I turned down running the cafeteria, I figured the least I could do was offer that. Now tell me, without my dashi, how's the Yayoi group's flavor supposed to hold up? I'm waiting for your answer. Sweating profusely, Takashi Yayoi bowed his head low. It's impossible. Even if I didn't know, I spoke out of turn. I sincerely apologize. There's no way we would pull this company's seasonings from our chain. Please, master, I beg your forgiveness. After apologizing to the man he called master, Takashi Yayoi turned to us and muttered, Damn it! Who would have thought my dad's mentor would show up here? And that he would be supervising this company's seasonings? Some things are just unbelievable. You two got saved by a miracle. I'll let it slide this time, but I swear I'll make you pay in some other way. Desperately trying to act tough, Takashi Yayoi was like an emperor with no clothes by now. After all, there was still one more thing Takashi didn't know. Masters heard everything you just said, so maybe you should stop while you're ahead. What did you say? No, Master. This is between me and these two. We'll continue the seasoning contract, so don't worry. But there was no way the Master would just accept that and step down. In fact, he was trembling with even greater rage. Because the man they called Master was... What payback? If you think you can lay a finger on my daughter, go ahead and try. Daughter? Mirine gave a small nod. That's right. The master was Mirine's father, a renowned washoku chef. Though he ran a small diner, he had trained many apprentices, a charismatic figure in the world of Japanese cuisine. And thanks to his connection with the president, he supervised her company's seasonings. I had been shocked when I learned that. Not only did you mess with Mirine, you even tried threatening her, huh? No, Master. There's a deeper reason behind this. You there? Yes, sir? Mirine's told me about you. You're in product development, right? I want your honest answer. After seeing Takashi Yayoi's behavior, do you still think we should overlook it just because he's an important client? Mirine's father fixed me with a stern gaze. At the same time, Takashi looked at me as if begging for mercy. Normally, a company man prioritizes profits, but I think this is different. If a client abuses their position like this, I believe cutting ties to protect her employees and partners is unavoidable. Just as I had heard, you're quite the man. Mirine's father looked satisfied, and the surrounding employees who had witnessed everything burst into applause. The final decision's up to the president, but I'll also recommend cutting ties with the Yayoi group. Please wait! If you do that, it will throw the stores into chaos! My father will be furious! What are you saying? Weren't you the one who wanted to pull the seasonings? Or was that just an empty threat? No, it's... The circumstances have changed! Please, I beg you, let us continue as before! Takashi bowing hastily. I could hear quiet chuckles from the surrounding employees. Perhaps even Mirine's father was too exasperated to speak anymore. I focused on calming the still nervous Mirine and thanked her father again. Masaki, you okay? Senpai, thank you. Huh? No, It was you two, right? The ones who hurried to bring Mirine's father to the cafeteria.
My father told me. He said he was on his way to the president's office when you explained everything and rushed him over here. Thank you so much.
Hearing our words, the senior couple exchanged looks. Then... I don't think you'll be blamed either. Thanks for standing up for me. Masaki! Even for a senior like me, you...
Thank you so much, Masaki. You stood your ground even knowing he was an heir. You were so cool.
Needless to say, their loud sobbing sparked new rumors about me. Later, Takashi's father apologized to her president and to Mirina's father. Apparently, he proposed continuing business if they had let his son resign from the board and start over as a part-time worker at one of their stores. Why the hell do I have to be doing groundwork with student part-timers? Damn it! It seemed Takashi still hadn't grasped the situation. Word was, he kept bad-mouthing people even at the store. Maybe it would take more time for him to realize he should be grateful just to have work. Several years later, I had been with Mirina for quite a while by then. And today, I came to celebrate her finally taking over her father's diner. Congrats, Mirina!
Thanks. From now on, I'll need your advice on recreating dishes even more. Please keep helping me.
Of course, my skills aren't much, but I'll help whenever I can. Mirina's father quietly watching us, then patted my shoulder. Use your skills here at the diner too, and apply them in supervising the seasonings like I did. You mean? I'm retiring from the diner, and from supervising the seasonings. I'll tell the president you'll be taking over. It's an incredible honor, but I feel like it's still too much for me. Huh. A guy with such half-hearted resolve isn't worthy of marrying my daughter. At a sly smile, I hurriedly declared, I'll do it! Please let me supervise the seasonings! And please let me marry your daughter!
Hey! You two can't just decide that on your own.
Standing up to the powerful always carries risks. Maybe I only came out okay by sheer luck. But if you just look the other way, nothing changes and nothing begins. Watching Mirina blushing, I felt once again, taking that first step had truly been worth it.